Welcome everybody to today's live coaching webinar. My name's Matt Carter. I'm the host of today's webinar. Joining us in just a moment is a friend of mine, Shane. Shane is another fellow internet marketer. I've known Shane for a few years now, and he's had great success online. He's done a lot of different things: built affiliate marketing sites, AdSense sites. He's done a lot of information marketing, and he's also been involved in software development for the internet marketing niche and providing tools for people. He's a great guy. He's got a lot of experience, and one of the things that Shane has been focusing on in the last little while, probably in the last year, is really on building an email list. So what we're going to be talking about in today's webinar, what Shane is going to be talking about, is how to build an email list effectively. So ways to get people to opt into your email list, because there's a right way and there's a really wrong way to go about this. And when you learn the little tricks and strategies that improve the amount of people that opt into your email list on your websites, you can greatly increase the growth of your email list. And that's really what you want to do. You want to maximize it because you want to grow your email list obviously as quickly as you can. As the old saying goes, the money is in the list. I really can't stress that enough. The most profitable thing I've ever done is building an email list. It really is. I'm glad I started building an email list when I did, because over time it's just made me more and more money, my email list. So there's been no better return of my time than building an email list. So if you're not doing it, then you need to start doing it immediately. Otherwise you're going to regret it. Don't wait any longer. If you're already building an email list and you want to make sure you're maximizing every opportunity to get as many people on your email list as you possibly can, because just small little changes and getting, a few more people each day opting in over a year adds up to a lot more people on your email list. The beauty of building an email list obviously is that you can reach your target market within a click, and you can make a lot of money if you build up an email list. I remember the first time I made 5 figures from sending out an email to my email list, which was just, blew me away. So that sort of stuff's very possible when you build an email list, and if you don't, well, then you don't, and you miss out on that opportunity. So let's get straight into the content. Without further ado, I'm going to welcome Shane Millar. Shane, are you there?
Yes, hello Matt, and hello, welcome to the call. Thank you very much for having me, and I'm really excited to get started. So yeah, thanks for the introduction, and I guess I can take it away from here.
Yeah, I'll let you take it away, Shane, and I'll jump in and out throughout the webinar and ask some questions if I need some clarification. And for the people watching, we'll try and take the Q&A at the end of the session. So just write down your questions, and we'll get to them at the end of the session. We'll spend some time in an actual Q&A session, so you won't miss out on your questions. But yeah, over to you, Shane.
Okay. Excellent. All right. So yeah, as you can see, what we're going to talk about is how to, not just how to get subscribers onto a mailing list, but how to get more subscribers onto a mailing list. And the graph you see here, this image you see, this is from the stats of a MailChimp account. And this is a list that went from getting about 30 opt-ins a day, about 30 opt-ins a month to over 300 opt-ins a month, and I'm going to show you how that happened, and I'm going to share everything I know with you on how to make this kind of thing happen. So as a very quick introduction, and mainly so that you can kind of associate a face with the voice that you're hearing, this is me. My name is Shane, and I'm a half Swiss, half Irish person. That's where the strange accent and the strange name come from. And essentially, I'm a marketer. I own a online business. As Matt said, I've done all sorts of stuff, but mainly I sell my own products. I create and sell software. I essentially sell stuff online for a living, and a big part of that is email marketing. That's where the majority of the sales I get come from email lists. And I'm also not a fan of long introductions. I'd rather have my content speak for me. So with that in mind, let's move right on and get into the content. So I want to give you some really practical advice today that you can implement right away And the goal is that you can walk away from this webinar, hopefully with some notes, and make changes to your website right away and see results right away. That's the goal I had in mind with creating every single slide here and creating every single bit of content that we're going to talk about. So here's a quick overview of some stuff we're going to talk about. I'm going to show you the 3 biggest mistakes that I've seen on hundreds upon hundreds of blogs and websites when it comes to list building. I want to show you the difference between rich affiliates that make lots of money and crazy affiliates that don't, and how you can make sure that you're in the rich affiliates category if you do affiliate marketing. I want to show you a very surprising fact that it seems nobody knows about when it comes to building a list that actually makes it easier to get opt-ins. But as I said, it seems like nobody knows about this because nobody's doing it. I'm also going to do, throughout this, I'm essentially going to do like an opt-in form workshop or a squeeze page workshop. I'm going to show you live examples of real opt-in forms that I've seen online and how we can fix them very, very easily to get better opt-in rates, to get better list growth, right? And as Matt already kind of alluded to, we're going to talk about how you can really make small changes today that will result in huge results down the line, that will translate into big income changes down the line. And to start off, something you've heard a million times before, I'm sure, the money is in the list, or sometimes, you know, variations of that, the money's not in the list, it's in the relationship you have with the list or whatever. Bottom line is, it's clear that the money's in the list. And in fact, the second most common thing I hear next to money is in the list is people telling me that they regret not starting to build a list sooner. Right. Once you start and once you see what you can actually achieve with sending an email, once you get an email list going, so many people say, "Oh, I wish I started sooner. I wish I'd done this sooner. Why did I wait?" So that much is clear, right? And as I said, I sell products, and this is the main thing, that like the most important tool I have is an email list. Here's a snapshot of a monthly report from PayPal. And this was from June last year. And I chose this report because this was a very slow month. I'd taken several products off the market. Not much was going on here. And as you can see, I made something over $10,000 that month. And I can tell you exactly how that happened. I sent 2 emails. I sent an email here saying, hey, there's a new product that I'm pre-launching, so you can get in early. I sent that email, got sales on that day. And then a few days later, I sent a reminder saying, remember this pre-launch I talked about, it's going to close pretty soon. That's it. Okay, that's it. That's all I did in this month for my business. And that resulted in about $10,000. And I know there are people who have email lists who, if they send 2 emails, they make far more than $10,000. But this is the kind of thing that I really know nothing else that can get you this kind of result. And it really is, it's almost a cliche, you know, everybody's chasing the push button money system, and nothing comes closer than having an email list, having email marketing, because it really, once you have some subscribers, you really just send an email and make money. And it almost makes me feel sleazy talking about it because, you know, push button money, right? It doesn't exist unless you have an email list. But here's a different thing, because I can talk to you about results I got with email lists and so on. That might be interesting, but because I sell products and because I have many affiliates, I have hundreds of affiliates promoting my products, I actually get insight into what hundreds of other marketers are doing and what kind of results they get. And here's a list of top affiliates for a recent product promotion from DigiResults. And you can see that, you know, there's a big range, of course. You know, some affiliates make hundreds of sales, some affiliates make dozens of sales, some affiliates make no sales. And I can tell you one thing, because every affiliate has to apply to be approved and tell me how they're going to promote. And I can tell you one thing, everyone at the top of this list, in terms of how many sales they made and how much money they made, every single one of these people has one thing in common. They all use email as their promotion tool. And because I've had so many affiliates and so much experience with this, by now I really know when someone applies to an affiliate program and says, oh, you know, I have a blog, I'm going to write a post on my blog about this product. I know that probably they might make 1 sale. They might make, I don't know, half a dozen sales if it goes well. But if someone says, oh, I have a small email list, 500 people, I know they're going to push sales. I know that that's going to be a valuable affiliate and they're going to get results right away. So I can tell you from that, and also if you look at this column over here, this is the earning per click. So on this particular product, many affiliates earned $2, $3, $4, or even more per click that they sent. And that's just, so you can send one email, 100 people click on it, you made $400 to $500. So that's the kind of result. And as I said, you know, we get this insight into what so many other people are doing. And I can tell you, everyone at the top, everyone does email marketing. And it goes on and on. Here's another example. This is just from my clicky analytics. If I filter my visitors by source email, you can see this little symbol here every time I get a conversion, right? This is what the list looks like for the traffic source email, okay? You can see conversions all the time. This is what it looks like for the traffic source social media. And you can see this is the same date range, same amount of visitors, simply the first page of visitors referred by email and referred by social media. No cherry picking here. It's just absolutely crazy how much better email conversions are than really anything else. All right, I could go on and on, but you get the idea, right? The bottom line is that email marketing is extremely, extremely lucrative. And this kind of growth, which is what we're going to talk about, this kind of growth essentially means more money. So that's what I want to show you how to achieve. So with that said, let's dive in and talk about the 3 biggest mistakes. And these are the most common mistakes. I work with many, many different websites and I do a lot of research on email list building. And I've literally seen these mistakes hundreds and hundreds of times. And you can so easily get better results just by avoiding these 3 steps. Number 1, the first mistake that some people make is that they don't collect leads in the first place, that they're not building a list. And I wouldn't be, this seems obvious, right? But I wouldn't be saying this if I wouldn't see this that often. Maybe you're thinking, well, that doesn't apply to me. And I know this from talking to customers as well. Maybe you're thinking, well, I build niche sites, so I don't need that. That's not part of my business model, building an email list. Or maybe you think, I'm an affiliate, I don't, you know, that's not part of how I run my business, is not doing email lists. Or another thing I hear often is, oh, that doesn't work in my niche. It doesn't work in my industry. And none of that is true, especially if you're doing affiliate marketing. Look, I used to do affiliate marketing as well in terms of like a niche site building, right? I had niche sites, I got them ranked in Google, and I simply sent the traffic to, you know, through reviews and stuff like that. I sent it to various affiliate links. And a successful affiliate site, when it works well, is sending traffic away from the site through those affiliate links, right? The better the site is, the more successful the site is, the more efficiently the traffic moves through the website, through the affiliate links, away from my site towards the offers. And this became a big problem because essentially what that means is that your affiliate site has a low visitor engagement, right? You're not engaging visitors, you're sending them off. And this is a big problem and an increasing problem with Google now, because visitor engagement and other social signals are becoming more and more important in how Google values and ranks websites. So essentially, in a sense, if you have a super successful and very effective affiliate website, you're actually kind of shooting yourself in your own foot, because that will probably lead to lower rankings with when another Google update comes around. So even for only affiliate sites, even for sites that are just built around some niche keyword to get traffic to a specific affiliate offer, even there, the way to do it is to get the lead first. Get people on a mailing list, and then you can hit them with those links and you can send them away from your, you can send them to those affiliate links, but you don't get the hit in user engagement, because essentially if you get them to sign up, if you get them to opt into a list, that's a form of engagement on your site. And you know, it's not the only way to do it, but that is the safer, long-term and more profitable way to do affiliate marketing, is to get the lead first and then sell to the lead. And I've by now I have 0 like normal quote-unquote affiliate sites left. I have no sites left that are just sitting there sending traffic away. I collect leads everywhere, and it makes a big difference. All right, so you know to collect the lead. The second big mistake is offering too many choices on your website, and this is again typical, especially for blogs, but not only for blogs. You know, if you have a website and you have all of these options, you have buttons for sharing the content, you have a thing that says follow me on Twitter, you call to action to people to leave a comment, you have a subscribe to RSS button, you have ads, you have a thing that slides in that says here are my related posts, and somewhere among all that is a thing that says, oh, by the way, you can also subscribe to my list. Well, the more choices you offer, not only will this dilute your traffic, but also the fewer choices are actually made, right? So if you offer 3 choices, it's not like you'll get 33% of people choose one, 33% choose the other, 33% choose the third. The more choices you offer, the more people will actually not make a choice at all because they're overwhelmed. So reducing the amount of options on your site can be a really important step to increasing the number of subscribers you get. And let me quickly show you, let me go to the browser here. Let me show you 2 examples. And these are, I'm just going to load 2 websites here. Now, both of these websites are theme demos. So they're almost intentionally overloaded, but take a look at this. This is a theme you can get. You can make a blog that looks like this. And as you can see, you have these sharing icons here. You have spaces for advertising. You have text ads here. You have these images in a sidebar. In a second sidebar, you have images and the slider stacked on top of each other here. You have tags here, and you have recent comments and news and all sorts of stuff. And here somewhere, there's also an opt-in form, right? And this is a great example of, most people will not even see this opt-in form. There's so many options here that in most cases the opt-in form will just be completely overlooked. And there's just way too much going on here. A less extreme example, one that's more closely related to kinds of things I see many blogs do, is something like this. Again, we have sharing buttons here. We have a notification bar. We have 2 rows of menus, including drop downs. We have some ad space. We have a slider. We have another slider. These image sliders are so popular, right? But they're not very useful actually in terms of conversion rates. We have calendars and all sorts of stuff going on. We have related posts, plugins, and more sliders. All this stuff is happening here. And down here we have a subscriber thing. And here we have a subscriber thing, and they're just drowned out by all the noise on this site. And I think this is something that happens quite often because really, as I said, this is a theme demo, and the theme creator is showing off all the features here. And I think the mistake that many people make then is they say, well, I have all these features, I ought to use them, right? So if I can have 2 sliders, I should have 2 sliders. And if I can have all these related posts, widgets, and things pop up and show up, I should have them. But you probably shouldn't. This is a blog, in terms of the layout and in terms of the design, by reducing almost everything you see here, you could make it that much more effective. And, worst case, you get a theme where you can't even deactivate this stuff. So it's really working against you. And it's just, I think we get distracted by interesting features, interesting bits and bobs that we can have, spectacular looking things on our website, and forget about what our website is really supposed to do. So here, as a counter example, what should it look like then? If what I showed you before is too much, what should it look like then? Well, here's a counter example. All you have here is very simple layout. Here's your content. Here are very few navigation links. And here's an opt-in form in the sidebar, maybe another couple of links in the sidebar for your most popular posts and stuff like that. And this is very minimalist. But trust me, this kind of thing works so much better than your overloaded triple slider website. So much more effective for opt-ins. And here's a secret that a lot of people don't understand. Your website needs to do only two things, all right? Only two things. I have to take a sip of water here. I'm getting a dry throat. I'll tell you the secret right afterwards. Your website needs to do only two things. Number one, it needs to deliver your content to your readers. Number two, it needs to lead your readers to your conversion goal. And your conversion goal should be getting them on a mailing list, getting the opt-in. Those are the only two things your website needs to do. Your website doesn't need to impress anyone with, you know, super fancy design. It doesn't need to make anyone go, wow, look at this 3D animation on the slider. It doesn't need to showcase the latest features in CSS and HTML. All it needs to do is it needs to present your awesome content to people, and it needs to lead them to your conversion goal. And everything else is noise, and you can get rid of it. And I know that's bold. I know a lot of people will be like, no, I can't give up on this. I can't give up on that. But trust me, if that's what you do, if you cut out everything that doesn't serve one of those two purposes, you will see a massive difference in how profitable and how successful your website is. So that's mistake number two, offering too many choices. And mistake number three is not having an opt-in incentive, not offering something in return for the opt-in. Again, even on marketing blogs, far too often, the only thing you see is join our newsletter. Sign up here to join our newsletter. Definitely offer a bribe. Bribe people to get them on your mailing list. And the same thing goes for having the wrong kind of opt-in incentive. So a lot of people have an opt-in incentive, but it's not working for them. It might even be working against them because they don't know a few things. The most important thing for getting people to opt in is what you offer. Okay, that's the number one factor that will change how many signups you get, is what you offer. And as I said, getting this wrong can make a big difference, can mean a big hit to how many conversions you get. And getting this wrong is a waste of valuable traffic. Essentially, you know, if you're getting a 2% conversion rate when you could be getting 10% conversion rate, that's just a cringe-worthingly painful waste of traffic. And I want to make sure that that doesn't happen to you. So, as I said, way too often, even on blogs where they should know better, where they write about marketing and they should know this kind of thing, way too often I just see an opt-in box that looks like this. Just like sign up below to join our free newsletter. That's it. This is not ideal, although it's still better than not having an opt-in form at all, right? Even just this will get you subscribers, and that's better than not getting subscribers. But what you have to keep in mind is that the problem is if you say join our newsletter, you're asking people to do something for you, right? Get on my list. That's what I want. But you have to think in terms of what they want. You have to think in terms of what's in it for me. That's what the visitor is thinking, right? So here are a few tricks that you can use to get to create the right offer. And you'll see that this is actually easier than most people think. The first thing is what you want to offer, what usually works best is if you can offer some form of instant gratification. And so if you say something like sign up to our newsletter and get exclusive updates, that doesn't work as well as if you say download this exclusive PDF report. Because getting exclusive updates is something that happens sometime later, right? The implication is I sign up today and then at some point I'm going to get those updates. Whereas the download of the PDF happens right now. I sign up and I instantly get the download, the goodie. So that works. And in fact, here's something that I tested a long time ago. And I've repeated this test in many different forms, but this is the first time I discovered this. Is I tested two different opt-in forms where everything was the same except the graphic of the ebook I was giving away. So I was giving away a free ebook, and I used two different graphical templates. And you can see one of them here looks more like a magazine and the other one looks more like a book. And the one that looks more like a magazine got slightly better conversions. So the only difference here is that the magazine one looks like it's smaller, right? It looks like it's more easily consumed. than the book. The book looks like a big book, maybe a few hundred pages that you have to read through and work through. And so just even this subtle difference, even just showing a graphic of something that looks like it's easier to consume, leads to better conversions. And essentially that's a way of making, it has to do with instant gratification, right? Because the difference is I have to read through an entire book, or I flip through a magazine and then I get my result. And that's a really important message. So here's an actual opt-in form that I found online where someone says, kickstart your online business by instantly downloading this free internet marketing library. And then you can see it. It's a whole bunch of ebooks, SEO tactics, PLR profits, affiliate income, viral traffic, and so on and so forth. And this is the opposite of what I'm talking about, right? This is actually a huge problem, and this is probably hurting the conversion rates very, very considerably. And in fact, I would turn that on its head, because this is clearly for beginners, right? This is targeting internet marketing beginners. I would turn that on its head to get probably a lot better conversions. Here's my alternative to this. I would turn that into something like, here's the easiest 3-step process to making your website profitable. And then content. Confused, overwhelmed, too many unread ebooks on your hard drive? Cut the noise and see this simple 5-minute case study video. 3 steps you must take to start getting paid. All right. So do you see the massive difference here? I'm actually turning this on its head and saying, you know what? Most newbies that haven't just started yesterday, but have started maybe last week, probably have a bunch of unread ebooks on their hard drive, right? They probably have downloaded a bunch of stuff where they go, oh, I didn't even get around to reading that. So I would actually use that as a conversion factor and saying, look, this is not another bunch of ebooks that'll just rot away on your hard drive. This is something you can consume now, benefit from now, right? So that is one of the things that will help you get greater conversions. And the great thing about this is it means it actually makes creating the free giveaway a lot easier. Because if you think about it like this, if you had to, you know, say I'm giving away everything at the kitchen sink, introduction to affiliate marketing in 5 volumes as your giveaway, you'd have to write this huge Bible on affiliate marketing or whatever the topic is, you know, whatever, healthy eating or dog grooming or whatever the topic is. This means you don't have to write this huge Bible on this huge work on your topic to get a giveaway. It means that what people really want is something really simple that they can apply right away, and that will actually get better conversions. How much easier is it to write a quick guide on 3 simple tips to do something in your niche than it is to write, you know, the complete in 5 volumes? So it actually makes it easier for you to get higher conversions. How cool is that? So this works so well that I actually recommend that people brag about how small their offer is. So you talk about, you know, this is one simple trick, or it's an easy 2-page report, or it's a 3-minute video, or it's a 4-step process. You brag about how small the offer is. And it's counterintuitive, right? Because you'd think the more I give away, the better. The more I give away, the more people will want it. But no, it actually works the other way around. All right, the second thing is to address a hot button issue. Here's an example of this. Let's say you're in the fitness and weight loss niche, and maybe you're a personal trainer or something like that, and you know that for people in your niche, for your prospects to get the results that they want, you know that what they need to do is they need to fix their nutrition. The problem is that that doesn't really appeal to anyone. Nobody's sitting at home thinking, oh, I really want to fix my nutrition, or very few people are. So you want to address something that gets people worked up. And in this case, it could be the fact that when they look in the mirror, they don't look like this guy here, and they're disappointed by that, right? That's something that gets an emotional response, like the disappointment or the frustration at what they see when they look in the mirror. So even if your guide is about how to fix their nutrition, because maybe you know the quickest win they can get is if they they fix their nutrition. So even if your guide is about that, the thing you want to address is the thing that gets an emotional response, right? Unhappy with what you see when you look in the mirror? Here's the guide to fix that. That would be a hot button issue. Essentially, you can think of it as an itch, okay? An itch that needs scratching. And that's exactly the way it is. Something like fixing your nutrition doesn't really care, nothing happens. But if you think about being frustrated with the way you look, that's something you really want to scratch that itch. And if you combine that with what we talked about before, with offering some sort of instant gratification, the instant gratification is essentially the scratch. You're providing the scratch for that itch. And if you can combine those two, if you can combine those two, if you can find a hot button issue and you can say, here's the instant scratch for this itch, that is a winner. That is a huge winner. That is going to be the most effective opt-in form in most cases, the most effective offer to put on your opt-in form. It's going to be a combination of those two. Okay, so again, this actually makes your life easier. You find one thing that you know people get worked up about and you know is important to people, and you offer a simple, short, quick solution to that one thing, and that's it. All right. Now the next step is, what do we actually write on this form? Because that's the other issue that faces people. Like, okay, you have maybe some free offer or something. Now, what do I actually put on this form to make it convert? And that's where a lot of stuff, often that's where it falls apart. So I want to share just a few simple things you can implement right away to get really good opt-in copy and to get high conversions from that. The first principle is to keep it short. You want to keep your opt-in copy, and that is true for opt-in forms on your site, so like a sidebar form or a form at the bottom of your post or something like that. You want to keep that short. And also for squeeze pages. Any squeeze page copy you should keep as short as possible. And the reason is that usually your visitors aren't even willing to invest time yet. Okay, and that's the same reason why small and short offers work better in most cases than big offers. Because when I say, here's my 17-step video course, or my 17 episode video course on something, that the visitor has to decide that, okay, I want to invest my time into learning all this and watching all this, and they're probably not sure about whether they want that yet. And the same goes for your copy. They don't want to read several paragraphs of copy to make up their mind about whether they want to opt in. So you have to keep it short, ideally something that can be read within a few seconds. And the thing is, it's always difficult. Never underestimate how difficult it is to get someone's attention online. That is the biggest challenge. The first hurdle you need to get over is getting someone's attention. And that's something that's great about an opt-in process in the mailing list, because if you can offer something simple right away that gets people to go, oh, okay, I'll give this a try. You get that minimal investment. You get their email address and you send them, let's say, your awesome PDF report. They read the PDF report, they read the first few paragraphs, they go, well, this is actually pretty good. Now they've read the whole report and they go, this is a person worth listening to. So now you can start sending them emails, and you can start, you earn their attention, right? The better your content is, the better your emails are, the more invested they are, and the more they are willing to read maybe a long email, a long blog post, a long sales letter, and so on. So at this first stage, before you get the opt-in, keep it short. And keep it all about the visitor's benefit. Now, a lot has been said about advertising benefits and not features. And that's what it's really about. Again, you have to think about the visitor is thinking, what's in this for me? And that's the only thing that matters. The only thing that matters is what's in it for the visitor. Never talk about yourself. Talk about the end result that the visitor has in mind, the end result that the visitor wants. That's what we want to advertise. A really nice way, a really nice example of that is that people don't want to buy drills. They want a hole in the wall. And in fact, they don't even really want a hole in the wall, because what they really want is they want to mount something on the wall, right? And no matter how fancy your drill is and what kind of features your drill has, as soon as there's a better way to mount something on the wall that doesn't involve making holes in the wall, but that works just as well, I don't want to buy that drill anymore. And I don't care about the features. I don't care about how much a bargain it is. I just want to mount this screen or this painting or whatever on the wall. Another example is with cameras. Let's say you're selling a camera. And here again, you know, a camera has tons of features. A camera is very, very feature intense piece of technology. But really, most people don't care about a camera. Most people don't care about those features. What people want is they want to get amazing pictures, right? So the reason, even if you're a camera geek, the reason you're buying this super expensive lens with God knows how many features is because you want really awesome pictures. You want that end result. So that's what you need to be advertising. And even there, we can take this back to the hot button thing. Even there, you can ask yourself, wait a minute. So they want awesome pictures. Is that really the hot button? Is that really the main thing here that's going on here? Or is there something deeper? Maybe what they want is to know that their friends will envy them when they see those vacation photos. And maybe if we can somehow subtly hint at that, that's what will get them convinced. Or maybe it's, if they're parents, maybe it's the idea of being able to capture those precious childhood moments so that you can hold on to them and not forget about them. Those are like the underlying hot button issues that actually lead people to buying cameras. And that's what this whole features versus benefits thing is really about. So that much is clear, right? You want to think about what's the end result that my visitor wants and advertise that. And you can add a bit of social proof. This is an easy way. Well, an easy way, once you get it, it's an easy way to do your opt-in copy. You can basically make the promise. You say, this is the end result you get. And then you add social proof. And here are two ways to do that. One of the ways is to say, join many others who have signed up before you. So you could simply say, you know, join 5,000 daily deal fans and get our daily recommendations, or whatever it is, right? Join 200 happy subscribers, whatever, right? So essentially anything you can say where you say, look, a lot of people have done this before and they're happy about it, will have that herd mind effect that we call social proof, and will get people convinced to sign up. And another one is, for this you'll have to pursue at least one testimonial. But another way of doing social proof is saying, look, here's someone just like you, and they're glad they signed up. So you maybe have an image of that customer, or an image of that prospect, or whatever it is, that subscriber, and just a quick quote of them saying something like, I was skeptical at first, but after signing up I realized that Joe's or Jane's or whatever stuff is a cut above the rest. And this is especially useful if you're doing something where everybody promises essentially the same thing. So let's say again, fitness and weight loss. Everybody promises that you can sign up and get the perfect guide to losing weight. So if you make that promise, the next thing you need to do is you need to address the skepticism that people will have. Oh, okay, so your weight loss guide is going to be the one that makes a difference, right? So in that case, if all you do is you have a headline that says, here's the promise, sign up to get the best weight loss guide ever, and then a testimonial of one person saying, I tried this and it actually works, that can make a big difference. And all you really have to do is you have to pursue one good testimonial and use that as your copy. So that's essentially a way in which you can get a great high converting opt-in form without having to write the copy yourself, without having to come up with this brilliant idea of what you're going to write there. You simply use someone else's words. Okay, now we've looked at these principles. Now let me give you a walkthrough of one example and how you can actually cram many of these principles into a single opt-in form. So here's an example opt-in form for a SEO marketing type blog. So as you can see, we have a headline that says free video on Pandalize your site. Then there's an image here which is there to catch the eye. And even on the image, it says get your traffic back which is another essential promise, right? That's the end result that people want, okay? The end result that people want. So that's what I was talking about. Get your traffic back. Then we say, simple 4-minute video shows you the exact steps that we applied to a subscriber site to get it unpandalized and back to better rankings than ever before. All right, so we're saying this is short and small, and it leads to your desired end result. Okay, I'm not talking about, note that I'm not talking about my email list. I'm not talking about that I want you to subscribe. I'm not talking about newsletter updates or anything like that. I'm saying here is the end result that you want, and here's how quick you can get it. That's it. And then I say it's a real case study, real results. This is not theory. In other words, regain your rankings and traffic in record time. That's reiterating the benefit. That's what you want. It's completely free. And that's just to be clear about, look, I'm not asking for money here. Then it says sign up below to watch the video. Bam. Okay. Now here, this is another ninja trick. Okay. What I'm saying is we show the exact steps that we applied to a subscriber's website to get it unpandalized. And you might think, oh, whatever. But this is actually covert social proof. And you wouldn't believe how much of a difference this can make. Between this and saying, you know, I'm going to show you the case study of what I did for my website to get this result, and saying that I'm going to show you the case study that we applied to someone else's, to a subscriber's website. Now note, a subscriber is someone who's just like you are about to be, right? Because as soon as I decide to sign up, I'm one of them. That's the message here, right? Implied is the subscriber is just like you, is a person like you. And this can make a huge difference. You wouldn't believe that. Seriously, try this out. Because as the website owner, as the blogger and so on, people will often have this barrier where they say, oh yeah, that worked for you, but you're somehow different from me, right? You're the essentially, you're up there on your blog preaching, and I'm just a normal person. So and this is such a subtle little thing, but by just doing this, by saying we applied this to a subscriber site to get this result, can make a big, big difference. Another one is, if you have something that isn't actually small, you can still use the instant gratification thing to your advantage by making it seem small. So as an example, if this video happens to be longer than 4 minutes, and I have a video like that, one of my opt-in bribes is a 25-minute video. So I made this video, it's 25 minutes long, and I thought, that's not very good. I can't really advertise that. So what I did instead is the video is divided into 4 main chapters. So what I call it is a 4-step video, right? I say, watch this video for 4 steps to dramatically improving your blog. So that makes it seem small. That breaks it up into an overseeable small amount of chunks, and people can say, well, I'm gonna watch the first step, and if that's any good, I'll watch the others. And that's much better than saying, here's a 25-minute video. All right. Also, you'll note that I talk about Panda and I say unpandalize your site, which a lot of people wouldn't understand what that is, right? Unless you are involved in SEO and you know about the Panda updates and other Google updates, you won't even know what that means. And that can be a good thing because I'm actually making a selection there. I want the right kind of people on my mailing list. So another thing you need to avoid is don't try to appeal to everyone. Don't try to make an opt-in form that gets everyone to opt in. Try to make an opt-in form that's targeted and gets the right people to opt in. Okay, that might seem obvious, but I thought I'd mention that. Okay, here's another quick workshop. This is again from a real opt-in form I found on a marketer's website, no less, where it says, watch this free video, and then a picture from what I assume is the video saying leverage everything. And then it says email address, confirm. Okay, those are the elements here. And this isn't terrible, but here's my treatment. Here's how I would suggest this opt-in form can be improved. It's very, very simple. I only make 2 changes, well, 3 changes. I add a tiny bit of text here that says, see the case study of how we improved profits by 78% while also reducing work by 2 hours per day. I don't actually know what this video is about, by the way, but my point is that you take something from the video and you make very clear statements. So it's not just, I mean, leverage everything is the vaguest statement I've ever heard. Right, leverage what the heck does that mean? Leverage everything. And what's the result of that? So what you want to take something out of this content that you can quantify, right? Some part of it that you can quantify and say, you know, it's much better to say increase profits by 78% and reduce work by 2 hours a day than it is to say get better results in less time. And even get better results in less time is better than saying leverage everything. Okay, and the other element I add is just a small arrow. And again, this is, you'd be surprised how much of a difference this can make, just having like small little arrows that lead the eye towards where it's supposed to go. And instead of confirm, I would put get access on that button. Get access. And I'll talk more about buttons in just a minute. All right, that's one example. Here's another example of a real opt-in form found in the wild and how to improve it. This is for a excuse me, for a website that's about like primal fitness, paleo diets, stuff like that. And it says subscribe. Then there's this picture here and it says premium content, free fitness ebook, free 7-day course, free recipe, weekly newsletter, join over 300,000 subscribers. And this is great. Join over 300,000 subscribers, fantastic social proof, excellent. But the other stuff is a bit, I don't know. So here's my treatment of this. Instead of saying subscribe, whatever that is, I would say something like get your free primal starter kit. Here's what you can get. Right? I'm talking about what they can get. And now the other important thing is, wait a minute, I'm talking about what they can get to get their attention. But now I have to talk about the end result. So discover how to kickstart the primal lifestyle and eat better, feel better, and look better starting today. Because that's what it's about. That's what it's about. Really, the end result of doing all this stuff, you know, fitness and primal fundamentals and these recipes. The end result is that you eat better, feel better, and look better. And I change this to your email address. Doesn't make a big difference, but it's a bit nicer. And I would change the button to something like get started, and I'd make the button color stand out because this button here disappears in the background. This one here stands out. Now this is probably the perfect color for this opt-in form. How did I find that? Am I some kind of a designer? No. I have a cheat, and I'm going to show you what that cheat is in a little bit. All right, I hope that gives you a good idea. Like, I wanted to add some real life examples here so that you can see how these principles can be put into action. And it's really not that difficult. I mean, coming up with something better than subscribe really isn't that difficult, is it? Yeah, and as you can see, you know, the changes aren't that big, especially something like changing email to your email address and changing subscribe to get started, changing the button color. But never underestimate the value of small changes. These small changes can mean a lot of money down the line. All right, so here is a quick list of stuff we've gone through. Here's the stuff you can implement right away. Number 1, offer a downloadable. Create something small and simple that you can offer as a downloadable. That's the best kind of thing to offer. Optionally, graphically represent that somehow. You can go on Fiverr and have someone cook you up a e-cover ebook graphic, and that will be a good eye catcher. Offer something that offers instant gratification, a scratch for an itch, instant gratification for a specific issue. That's all you want. One scratch for one itch is going to get you there. Always describe the visitor's benefit. The only thing that matters is what they get, not what you want. Keep your copy very short and to the point, and if you can, use some form of social proof. If you implement even just a few of these steps, that will make a big difference to how many subscribers you can get. Here's a problem though. You should never ever trust an expert. Because here's the situation we're in right now. Okay, I told you a little bit about myself. Maybe you believe that, maybe you don't, depending on how jaded you are with this whole internet marketing thing. And I'm telling you, I do a lot of email marketing. I've worked with a lot of opt-in forms and so on. But I'm basically saying, look, do this, do that, making recommendations. And I'm assuming that you know that, or that you believe me that I'm an expert. But really, what do I know? Here's the problem. The only way to know for sure what works best is to test. So I might tell you a small offer works better. I might tell you this color works better than that. I might tell you this button text works better than that. The only way to know for sure what works better is to test. Because if we both create an opt-in form for your website, my first guess at what works for your website is probably better than yours. Simply because I've done this hundreds of times before, right? I spent a lot of time studying this. So I'm hoping that my expertise is good enough so that my first guess at what to put on your opt-in form would probably perform better than your first guess. But with testing, you can guaranteed beat my best guess. Because it's so specific to exactly what your website is, exactly who your customers and who your crowd are, exactly what your offer is, that a guess is just that. It's just a guess. And only with testing can you find out what really works best. And this is what I've repeated several times already. Do not underestimate the value of small improvements over time. Because, and I'm talking about when I say value, I'm talking about the actual money that it ends up putting in your pocket. So here's what you have, excuse me. Here's what you have with regular traffic, okay? Let's say you have a site with just steady traffic levels, which means that here you reach 100 people, here you reach another 100 people, and this might be, maybe you reach 100 people a day, maybe you reach 100 people a week or a month or an hour, it doesn't matter. But let's say you just have steady traffic, which means you get to reach another 100 people, let's say every day, okay? And it just goes on like that. So you have 100 people to talk to every single day. With regular list building, what you do is you grab part of that traffic and put it on a mailing list that grows, right? And that means that at a certain point, you have a mailing list reach of also 100 people, while you still have 100 people to talk to every day on your website, right? Does that make sense? Assuming you get 100 visitors a day, just steady. And you get maybe, I don't know, a 10% conversion rate. After 10 days, you have 100 people on your mailing list that you can reach, and you also have those daily 100 visitors you can reach. And of course, sometime in the future, you'll have hundreds of people on your mailing list, and you'll still have 100 people a day that you can talk to on your website. But your reach is steadily increasing because the mailing list is cumulative. That's one of the beautiful things about it, right? That's with regular list building. That's why you should be doing regular list building. But here's what happens with testing. If you add a little bit of testing to your list building, this is what happens. Because this is the small change, right? Instead of 10 conversions a day, you get 12. Which means that sometime in the future, you will have thousands of subscribers instead of hundreds, right? Over time, day after day, week after week, month after month, that will make a huge difference. Even a tiny change, even 10 or even 12 instead of 10 subscribers, by the end of this year, will have made a huge difference to your reach, to the amount of people you can talk to by sending an email, and to the amount of money you can make by sending an email. So, yeah, the conclusion is, if you keep this in mind, the conclusion is that you need to start building and testing now. The sooner you start, the better it is. Every day you aren't building that mailing list, and every day you aren't running even the simplest of tests, you are essentially making your future self that much poorer. And honestly, for anyone who does this already, looks at this and goes, well, if you're not already doing this, you must be out of your mind, because it's just so lucrative. It's just so lucrative to do this. But wait a minute. What should you test? it's great for me to say, oh, you should be testing your opt-in forms, you should be getting more subscribers. Okay, great, but what should you actually test? So let me give you an overview again out of all the testing I've already done. Here are the quickest and easiest wins you can get by testing your opt-in forms. The first element to test is the button text. Okay, you'll have some kind of a button, a sign up button, and that is like the point of leverage almost on your page. And if you test there, you can get great changes and great wins in the conversion rate. Now, again, it boggles my mind how many people do this wrong. So many button texts say something like submit, sign up, join. There's like commands, right? Commands. Nobody wants to submit. And of course, what it means is submit the form, but it's out of place and weird. What your button text should do is it should talk about, again, it should be from the visitor's perspective. So it should be get access. Okay, it should talk about something they can get. Get is always a good word to use. So get access, get instant access or something like that. Or it can be, instead of you issuing a command to the visitor, like sign up, join, it should be the visitor giving a command to you. Yes, let me in. Or send my free gift, right? It's them giving you the order. That's much, much better. So write it from their perspective. Either make a promise, the button should either make a promise like get access or get instant access or something like that, or it should be as if they were speaking it, like send my free gift. This can make a big, big difference. So that's something you can test, and you could test several of those different texts against each other to see which one works best. And the next thing is, okay, button color, talking about buttons. How do we select button color? And here's my cheat code that I talked about, right? When it comes to button colors, here's my cheat code. And in fact, the cheat code consists of 2 websites. And the first one is the color scheme designer. I'll just put that in here. Okay, that's the color scheme designer right here. And what you can see here is basically you can select any color here, and you would select whatever color is one of the main colors on the website or in the opt-in form, and then you can select something like a triad here, and it gives you 2 options of colors that match this main color but stand out and are eye-catching. And that's it. That's what I use, right? So I simply input the color of my opt-in form here. I select the triad and I choose one of these as the button colors, or these are the 2 colors I test as the button color. But the great thing about this is both of these, as I say, match this color but stand out. Okay. And another website you can use, without having to use Photoshop or anything like that, is the image color picker, where you can either upload an image or you can simply input a URL and it will give you a color picker. So I can click on anything, any point in this image, and it will show me the HTML code of that color. So I can grab this, copy it, put it in here, click OK. And now it gives me this color that I chose here. Again, this could be a website, and it shows me the hex codes of the colors to use as button colors. It's as simple as that. That's a cheat code I use without having to be a designer or anything like that. That's the simple trick that I use to find the perfect button colors. There you go. It's so simple. That's already it. That's how I find button colors. And you can apply the same trick to your whole opt-in box. So you can choose a main color on your website and then choose one of those complementary colors as the opt-in box color to make your opt-in box stand out. And then you can test maybe two of these different complementary colors to see which one works best. So there you go. We have simple tests for button text, button color, opt-in form color. And the fourth one, sorry, is headlines. Test a few different headline variations Now here, I'd love to give you a magic formula of how to write the perfect headline, but of course that very heavily depends on what exactly your offer is and so on. So here's the almost magic formula, because there's a reversal you can do. A big mistake, again, that I see very often is that you see an opt-in form like this: subscribe to get the free report, and then the body copy says, learn how to do X and Y better than ever before in our glorious free report. Your life will be better, sign up here. And the problem is that the headline says what they have to do. You need to subscribe, and essentially describes a feature. You get a free report. A free report is a feature. And then the body copy describes the benefit. And the problem is nobody will read the body copy if the headline isn't getting their attention. So what you need to do is switch that around. What you need to do is have the promise, the benefit in the headline, discover the best way to achieve X, and then put the explanation in the body copy. So the way it works is people see the headline first, they go, oh yes, I want that. And then you have their attention, which leads them to read the body copy, where it says, just sign up below and we'll instantly send you your free report. And they get, ah, okay, that's how I get it, right? So step 1, I want it. Step 2, this is how I get it. Step 3, get it. So that's a simple way to improve your headline. And so what you want to do is simply, talk about what the promise is. What is the thing that they get? What's the end result they get by signing up? And you think of 2 different ways of saying that, and that's your headline test. All right, so these are some of the elements, and these are like the highest impact elements to test: button text, button color, opt-in form color, and headline. And if you just run a few tests on this, you can definitely get a good increase in conversion rates today, which means more subscribers, more traffic, more money down the line. All right, but how do you test? That's the next question. Okay, nice, all this stuff, good to know, but how do I actually test all this stuff? And really, this is usually the big issue, because testing is usually either confusing, complicated, or expensive, or all of the 3. Now you can in Google Analytics, the Google Website Optimizer doesn't exist anymore, but they have the content experiments in Google Analytics, which is kind of a cumbersome thing to use, if you ask me, where you can create different variations. So you have to create different pages. So you'd have different pages with different opt-in forms on them, and then you can test those against each other. And look, I'm not even going to show you how that's done, because I think it's super, super tedious, and there's something that is much, much better. Because opt-in forms are so important to me, email list building is so important to me, and testing is so important to me, I wanted to have a perfect solution for this. Because I couldn't find it, I created it. And it's called Hybrid Connect. And basically, Hybrid Connect, what you get with Hybrid Connect is every list building tool you can need for your WordPress website in one single plugin. It easily creates custom opt-in form designs for you, and you can very easily, hands-off almost, test and improve conversion rates. So here's just a quick overview of what you can do with Hybrid Connect. First of all, you can very easily create opt-in forms that go inside your content, opt-in forms that go below your posts and pages and so on, as well as opt-in forms that go in your sidebar, the typical mainstay opt-in forms that you see on every website. You can also create slide-in opt-in forms that slide in from the bottom of the screen, the top of the screen, the left, the right, whatever you want. So a slide-in opt-in form that triggers at a certain point or after a certain amount of time. And you can create lightbox opt-in forms, also known as pop-up opt-in forms, that cover the content, dim out the background, and are really, really attention grabbing and in your face, which can be very good for your conversion rates. You can also use Hybrid Connect to build squeeze pages, and probably you've seen these kinds of squeeze pages where it's like a big background image and a small opt-in form in the middle. That's the kind of squeeze page you can build with Hybrid Connect as well. You can also add videos to your opt-in forms, as well as videos to your squeeze pages and so on. And you can make opt-in forms responsive. If you have a responsive design, a responsive theme, you can make them. You can make the opt-in form also responsive, so that it adjusts depending on the screen size and the device of the incoming visitor. So that's the stuff we've combined in this one plugin. And you've already seen some of the results that were gotten with this. So here's one of the results where this is Infusionsoft. Infusionsoft stats are kind of horrible. But as you can see here, this went from 71 opt-ins in 30 days to 262 opt-ins in 30 days, which is a 369% improvement from using Hybrid Connect. More importantly, here is the subscription chart, the number of subscribers per day of a website using Hybrid Connect. And as you can see, there's a big difference, right? There's at the beginning here, there were almost no subscribers, and then there's an increase. But what's really important is that there's a trend here, and it starts most significantly here. If we ignore all these peaks here, if we just ignore the peaks and we look at the general trend, you can see that in general, it's going upwards, and the worst day in recent history is actually better than some of the best days in the beginning were. And that's what matters the most. And the only way to achieve this is through testing, right? Small, continuous, incremental tests lead to not only a growing mailing list, but a growing opt-in conversion rate, which is what really makes this thing interesting. So let me just give you a quick demo of what this looks like. Just go in here. I just want to show you a quick hands-on of what this thing actually looks like. So we're going to look at this website. I'm going to log in here. Here we go. And this is our website here. Let's look at the sample page. As you can see, there's nothing on this website. It's just a blank page. I just want to very quickly show you how easily and quickly we can create a opt-in form for this website. So I'm going to create a new connector, call this demo2, and save that. And now I'm going to create a shortcode design here. And the first thing I'm going to do, let me just make a bit more space here, is I'm going to select one of these templates, and there are about 50 templates to choose from. So I'm going to select one of these that I like, and then I'm going to start editing this. And I'm just going to very quickly run through some of the options you have here. So let's say the width is a bit too much. We'll make that a bit less wide. And as you can see, we have some sample copy here. We have a sample image. I can easily replace any of this text, and it updates live. So I can go, you know, here's my new headline like this, and I can add bullet points and all that stuff. As you can see, I can also add my own picture here. So this is just through the regular image uploader in WordPress. So I can insert my own picture. I can change the size and the position and alignment of the picture and so on. Everything very, very easy to do. And I can basically change every single aspect of this very, very easily. And the beauty of this is that it live updates. So I have tons of options here, which could be overwhelming. But because everything updates live, as I make the change, it's actually very easy. So let's say I want to change this color to orange instead of, let's see, let's go like this. Simple. With the color picker, you can instantly see how it changes. So I'm going to make a gradient in the background that's orange. I'll make this a bit darker. Something like that, right? All right, then let's change the button. For the button, I can simply pick a color that I want, or I can actually use one of the pre-made buttons that we have here. So I can use a graphical button, or I can upload my own button, whatever I want. So I'm going to go back here and maybe make the button black. That looks fine. And I can change all sorts of stuff, right? I can change the fonts here. make this headline look different, make a handwritten headline, whatever I want. I can change the sizes, I can change the colors, I can edit and manipulate absolutely everything in this opt-in form very, very easily. And then I'm just going to save the changes, and then I'm going to say I want this opt-in form to appear at the bottom of each post and at the bottom of each page. And now if I reload this page, you can see here at the bottom of this post is my opt-in form, and that's it. That's all it takes. And just as easily I can go into the appearance settings, into the widgets here. I can get Hybrid Connect, put that in here, save that. That puts another opt-in form in there in the sidebar, right, like that. And just as easily, if I go back here and let's do a light box, very, very high converting, as I'm sure you know. So again, I choose a template. I can edit the template. We also have some graphical templates that look really good. So I can choose a template like this and go to Lightbox settings, display that on a page, activate the Lightbox, and let's say it should display after, let's say 5 seconds or so. I can preview it, I can change the background color and all sorts of things. I'm just going to save that. And now if we reload this page and wait for about, what did I set it to, 5 seconds. There we go. We see this lightbox appear. I reduced my screen size, so now the lightbox is actually too big for this screen, but you get the idea. And you saw I could very easily change the size of this as well. This is just because it's a webinar, because we're recording this, I made the screen very small so that it doesn't end up being too large in the video. But anyway, I just wanted to quickly show you, give you a walkthrough to see actually how quickly and easily you can create these forms using Hybrid Connect. And most importantly, actually before we do that, what I almost forgot to mention is we talked about testing, right? So what I do now is I click on stats, where I can see the exact impressions and conversion stats for each form, and I click on add variation. So add this variation, I can give it a name. Now I edit this. The variation is always going to be a clone of the original. So what I can do here is, well, one of the things we talked about, I can go and edit the button text, right? So instead of sign me up, I can say get instant access. Okay, get instant access. And I could also test a different color while we're at it. Button settings, let's try green. Save. And I can make another variation. Again, this is going to be a clone of the original. Edit. And we can change something else. So we could have, well, let's make a big change. Let's say we change the color again. Change that to some shade of green. Like this. Doesn't look very nice, but you get the idea. Save changes. And then I say start test. Start the test. And now if we go back here, I reload the page again. You'll see that we have sign me up. This is one variation. Getting the same variation again. And here's another variation. This is the green variation, and you'll also get the variation with a different button text. And that's how easily, and this will automatically, Hybrid Connect will now, here's what it'll do. It'll automatically rotate these opt-in forms for the different visitors. And it will track how many impressions each opt-in form gets and how many conversions, so how many people sign up through that opt-in form. And not only that, so it will give me these detailed stats right here, and it will also automatically run this test until it is highly confident that one of the variations is the winning variation. So if there's a 95% statistical chance that one of these opt-in forms definitely beats all the other opt-in forms, it will automatically deactivate the losing variations and only show the highest converting variation. And that is the secret to the graph I showed you before, with the increase in conversion rates, with the dramatic increase in conversion rates. So what you do is you start one of these tests, and it literally takes 2 minutes to do that. I mean, or maybe 5 minutes if you're taking your time to create a few variations. You start the test and you walk away. That's it. And you know that this thing will be working in the background, and it will automatically end up showing only the opt-in form that gets you the largest amount of subscribers, the highest conversion rate. And then you simply come back and check, and you see, okay, this test has stopped, a winning variation has been found. You create a few new variations, you try a few different button colors, a few different texts, and so on. You run that test again, and again, automatically it will work to find the best converting version. So every time you do this, this thing is working in the background to get you better opt-in rates on every step of the way. How cool is that? And I dare you, I challenge you to find something that is as easy to use for doing split tests as this, for split testing your opt-in forms. There's nothing as easy as this. And keep in mind, the other great thing is if you have something like a sidebar opt-in form, it will test that opt-in form on every visitor on your site. It will test that opt-in form on every single visitor on your site, no matter which page they reach, right? Because it's not just limited, you can't just test one single page. You test your entire traffic, everyone who sees that sidebar is part of the test. All right, so right now we have for this webinar, we put together a lower price special offer for Hybrid Connect, which you can get right now. So you can type in this link here, imimpact.com/Matt, to get the special offer. I'm going to put this in chat, so maybe Matt can broadcast this to everyone. I don't think I can. Yeah, I'm just going to put this in here. Anyway, so if you just go to your browser and type in imimpact.com/Matt, that is the URL that will take you to this special offer for this webinar right now, okay? imimpact.com/Matt. I'm going to go there myself so we can have a quick look at that. imimpact.com/Matt. And this will take you to this page right here. And as you can see, there are 3 variations available of Hybrid Connect, okay? There's a professional license, a multi-site license, and a single site license. Let me quickly explain what these are about. The professional license is for agencies and people who work with clients, as well as people to do site flipping. And the regular price for this is $197, which means you can install Hybrid Connect on all of your websites. You can install it on all of your clients' websites, and as part of the service you render for clients, and you can sell websites that have Hybrid Connect installed. And the usual price for this is $197, and the reduced price is reduced by $70 to just $127. That's for the professional license to use on your own sites, on your clients' websites, and on websites that you sell. So if you do site flipping, that's the one you want to get. The multi-site license, the regular price for the multi-site license is $67. The multi-site license lets you use Hybrid Connect on every website that you own and operate, okay? Every website that you own and operate, no matter how many, you can use the multi-site license for. So that's now reduced to only $47 instead of $67. And there's also a single website license. So if you have just one website and you're never going to use this on a second website, you can get that. The regular price is $49, and you can get it for just $39. And to get this offer, you need to go to imimpact.com/Matt. Okay, these are the 3 packages that are available. So you can go there right now, imimpact.com/Matt, to get this special offer. And if you think about it like this, if you think about how much is a subscriber worth, there are, something that's typically quoted is that a subscriber is worth $1 a month, right? One lead on your list is worth $1 a month. Now, I think that's a pretty conservative estimate, but we can work with that. If you think about $1 a month, first of all, if you're not building a list yet, if you think about the amount of traffic you get, and you think that you can get a certain percentage of that traffic converted into subscribers, and each one of those subscribers is going to be worth $1 for every month they stay on your list, you can probably quickly run some math and see that this will become a lot more profitable than whatever else you're doing, or in addition to whatever else you're doing, than not building a mailing list. But also, I mean, I assume you know the amazing value of building a mailing list. But that's the small changes thing, right? The small changes thing is if you can use Hybrid Connect to just double your opt-ins from, let's say, 5 opt-ins a day to 10 opt-ins a day by just doing a few simple tests following the guidelines that we went through in this webinar. That means you're getting an additional value of $5 a day, which means that by the end of the week, you'll have paid for the multi-site license. Right? This thing, if you even make the tiniest bit of use of Hybrid Connect, this thing pays for itself in no time at all. And for some people, as the MailChimp screenshot I showed you, that's one of our customers, by the way. That's one of our customers who has a recipes website, who went from 30 opt-ins a month to 300 plus opt-ins a month. I mean, needless to say, that guy's copy of Hybrid Connect paid for itself in an instant. So if you can make use of this testing power in Hybrid Connect and also make use of, obviously, the things you learned today about creating better opt-in forms, this thing will pay for itself in absolutely no time at all. In addition to that, Matt has put together a bonus for this. For people who get Hybrid Connect from this webinar, you will be able to take part in Matt Carter's Email Marketing Secrets bonus. And to get that, all you need to do is go to imimpact.com/Matt, obviously, to get his special offer, and then email your receipt to staff@mattsmarketingblog.com to get access to this bonus. And Matt, maybe you want to jump in and quickly talk about what the bonus, what you'll cover here.
I just first want to say thanks, Shane, for the content so far. A lot of people saying thanks for the great tips shared. I just want to make sure I say that before I forget. And great plugin. I mean, this is an amazing tool. I haven't seen anything like this. It's really, I think it's fantastic. I'm going to start using it myself. As for this webinar bonus, I just want to tell you a little bit about it. Now, Shane's plugin is obviously, as you can see, pretty incredible. It'll help you get more people on your email list, which is what you want to do to build an email list. What I wanted to do as a bonus was then teach you guys what to do with those people once they're on your email list, how to monetize it, just the tips that and the little tricks that I've learned over the years of doing this. And I've earned a lot of money through email marketing. As I said, that I think the most I've ever done through an email campaign is about $50,000. So I know how to do it. I know how to build relationships with people through email and how to go about it. And there is a way to do it properly, and there's a way to do it really badly. And trust me, you don't want to do it that way. So I'll teach you in this private coaching webinar everything that I've learned over my 4 or 5 years now of doing this on how to make money from your email list. There's all sorts of little tactics and strategies that you can do. A lot of the teaching out there on email marketing is absolute crap. Sorry to be so blunt. It's because people don't really know what they're doing. So the good news for you, as a bonus webinar, it's a private thing for people that buy Shane's product, because I think it's just a good fit. You've got the plugin. Now I'll give you the rest of it through this coaching. So I think it's a great package deal for you guys. And you're also obviously already getting a discount if you go through imimpact.com/Matt. You get that discount that we're going to run. So take advantage of it. I'm excited about being able to teach you guys email marketing, and excited about this product. I think it's really cool. I've used other tools before. I'm currently using another tool, but it doesn't compare to this. Somebody asked me if this is as good as pop-up domination. There's another one out there. I can tell you right now it's better. you mean you should be able to tell if you've used it before anyway by looking at what this thing can do, the testing and tweaking and all the built-in stuff. It's pretty powerful. So yeah, that's my bonus. Shane, was there anything else you wanted to say before we get into Q&A?
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for that. Yeah, actually, especially just regarding stuff like pop-up domination. One of the things you have to keep in mind is there are a lot of tools like pop-up domination that does just pop-up forms, right? And there's some tools that do forms for the sidebar, forms for the post and stuff like that. But you'll find that if even just looking at the features, if you want to get the same features that you get in Hybrid Connect, even ignoring the split testing, you'd have to buy about 3 different plugins at least to get all that, right? To get just squeeze pages, slide in forms, pop-up forms, and in content sidebar forms. To get those, you'd have to buy 3 or 4 separate plugins usually, which is going to cost you, probably $60 each or so. So that's easily going to cost you something between $200 and $300 just to get the feature set, let alone the testing, let alone the awesome templates you get with Hybrid Connect, let alone the most intuitive and the most fully featured, most flexible content builder you've ever seen. This form builder, in fact, is so good that people asked us, our customers asked us, they said, this form builder is so good and so easy to use. I wish I could build stuff other than opt-in forms with it. And so one of the features we've added, and this is purely by customer demand, is that you can actually create forms that aren't opt-in forms, but just like call to action forms with a button. Right? So instead of having an opt-in form, you have a button that you can click. So you can, and that's simply because people asked us about this. We said, this form builder is so awesome. I want to use this to build ads and calls to action. So that's something we added. And I haven't even mentioned the hybrid features yet, or the Facebook features yet, because you can also use Hybrid Connect as a Facebook Connect form builder, so that people who are logged into Facebook will see a Facebook Connect button. And that gives them a simple 2-click sign-up process. Plus, it means that their verified Facebook email address goes on your mailing list. So that's another thing. I haven't even mentioned that. That's in there. And it also connects to GoToWebinar, for example. So you can have people signed up to your mailing list and to a GoToWebinar event at the same time through one single custom-made opt-in form. It works with every single mailing list provider ever. And you can create custom thank you pages. So for example, with MailChimp, if you're a MailChimp user, you probably know that their confirmation pages and that whole process is a bit horrible. And you can actually circumvent that and send people to a custom thank you page by using MailChimp together with Hybrid Connect. Plus, you don't have to use their ugly forms. So really, it's a steal. This is an incredible steal. If you look at any of the licenses, and as I said before, if you use this, do a bit of testing, this thing will pay for itself in no time at all. And yeah, I think with that, I think this is the last of my slides. Let me just check. Yeah, there we go. That's Q&A. So I can't see the questions here. So Matt, if you could maybe pick
I will,
out.
yeah, I'll fire them away. People, now's the time to ask you questions. I'm going to do my best to get to them all. Righty-ho, where was I? I'm just trying to get to the ones. So we've answered the question if it's better than pop-up domination. I think you nailed that one. Does Hybrid Connect work with Infusionsoft forms?
Yes, that's what I use.
From Dave.
Yes.
Okay, yes, Dave. So yes is the answer. Yes. Okay, well that's good. That's easy.
Yeah.
Question 2 from Dave. What's the server load with all the background processing?
It's not noticeable. So if you have a hosting account with detailed load monitoring, you won't see like a massive difference before and after using Hybrid Connect, because the impact that the Hybrid Connect processing has on your site is tiny compared to the impact that your traffic has. So it's always going to be obviously like a percentage of your traffic, but I've never seen you know, I've never seen like a spike or any difference in that sense from using Hybrid Connect. So that's really no problem, and it works without issues, you know, on $7 a month shared hosting accounts and stuff like that. It's no problem at all.
Okay, good stuff. Dan Southwick has got a question. He says, does it matter what email marketing service we use? Do we have to do a recommendation from Hybrid Connect, or can we use anything?
No, you can basically use anything. So we integrate with any email marketing service that creates an opt-in form, right? If you can tell your marketing service, your autoresponder, to create an HTML opt-in form for you, all you do is you copy and paste that into Hybrid Connect, and that's it. We will automatically strip out the values that we need out of that form and use that for the Hybrid Connect forms. And so far, we haven't encountered any that don't work.
Okay. Oh, just on that point, I forgot to say the bonus that you're going to get. You got to email staff@mattsmarketingblog.com a copy of your receipt so that we can just see proof of purchase, and then we'll reply to you with a link to sign up and register for the webinar, which I'm holding next week. And then obviously if you can't make the live event, there'll be a recording for you on the email marketing secret webinar. So just email staff@mattsmarketingblog.com right now. Greg Gillespie has said, brilliant value. I am in for the pro license, but will probably just use for my own sites, not for clients. So good on you, Greg. Greg's jumped on board.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
David has asked a question. I already use the Widget Logic plugin. Do the two plugins work together?
I'm afraid I can't answer that. I've never heard of the Widget Logic plugin, so I'm afraid I can't answer that. But look, in general, what we've encountered, you know, there have been a couple of instances where there have been conflicts between some other plugin and Hybrid Connect, and so far we've always fixed that. So basically, if that happens, that these things don't work together, you drop us a support ticket, and we'll take a look at that. And most likely, so far, we've been able to fix that every time.
Rightio. Sounds good. It's pretty easy to fix if you have clashes with popular plugins. I'm sure it's not a big deal. Natalia said, would it be possible to upgrade from the multi-site to the developer's license later if I get to that level?
Yes, you will. If you want to upgrade, you will have to get in touch with us. There's no like automatic process for that, but you can get in touch with us, and we will basically bill you for the price difference. Now, here's the thing. You'll just have to get in touch with us. You can find the support links from within the plugin and from within our site when you sign up. It's no problem. Basically, when you sign up, what you can do is you can simply send us an email or send us a support ticket saying, I want to upgrade, maybe forward your receipt so you can find your order, and we'll take care of it from there.
Okay. Dave Allen has asked us, is any future training in creating autoresponder campaigns and what niches to go after? He's never done anything like this before. I think I'll grab that one, Dave. I'm going to do some of that in the webinar bonus for buying this product. I'll talk about setting up autoresponders and all that stuff for you in there. Okay, Pat Paton has just said, just purchase, but I would still like to see this from the beginning. Oh, the webinar, you mean? Yeah, there'll be a recording of this, Pat, but Pat's grabbed it. Luke G has said, not a bad price at all. I think it's very reasonably priced, so that's true. Jude is asking about autoresponders. I think we answered that one already. Somebody else, Stephen's asking about can they upgrade later. We've answered that already. Is there any upsells in the process once they buy this, Shane? Is there any upselling, other things that they need?
Yes, that's something I wanted to mention. So yes, you will find an upsell. However, it is not, it's not one of the upsells where I say, oh, by the way, part of Hybrid Connect is missing. You have to buy it separately. It's nothing like that. The plugin comes with everything I talked about, everything I showed you. There is an upsell that we added very recently, and let me just quickly explain that. You'll get to the thank you page and you'll see a video that you can play there. and maybe you can wait until after the webinar and take a quick look at that. Basically, this is a very new upsell, a new product, and you're one of the first people to get to even see this. And it's a really, really cool little thing that I'm using. And the reason we put it as an upsell is this is something I use on my thank you pages, and it's like a little traffic engine. So we call this Sharely, and let me just quickly show you what this is about. Here's just a quick illustration of how this works. Sharely is essentially a little plugin, a little thing that you can place on a page where you can lock a piece of content, and it gets unlocked through a social share. So either through a Facebook like, a tweet, or a Google Plus. And this is how I use it. And here's why, and this is why we put it as an upsell, because it's such a nice complementary product to Hybrid Connect. Because what happens is, let's say you have a squeeze page, right? A Hybrid Connect squeeze page, or any opt-in form, and people sign up on that page or in that opt-in form, and obviously they get added to your mailing list, and they go to the confirmation page, right? They go to the confirmation page, and on the confirmation page, they see, you know, thank you for signing up, instructions, and so on, and they also see a little thing, which is essentially a second bribe, which maybe says, hey, here's another cool thing you can get in return for sharing. Okay, and there's also a bonus video that explains exactly how you can create one of these things very easily without, you know, having to spend a lot of time on it. So essentially you have one small bribe for getting people to sign up, and then another small bribe, or maybe a part of that first bribe, where you say, you know what, you can get this nice thing here if you share my content. And the cool thing is you can choose which page gets shared. You can choose which page gets shared, which means what you can do is you can create a loop, because you can say whatever they share here, the URL they share here goes back to your squeeze page. All right. So you're getting people signing up here. They go on your mailing list. They see the confirmation page. They perform the share and are sending social media traffic back to your squeeze page. So social media traffic is coming to your squeeze page. Some of these people are signing up. They see the confirmation page. They perform the share and send more social media traffic back to your squeeze page. And so it's like a little engine that just runs round and round and round and gets you some extra traffic and some extra subscribers. And it's also very cool for SEO, because the whole social signals thing, right? Google Pluses. I never used to get Google Pluses until I started using this. And now I'm suddenly getting, you know, I can get like 100+ ones at the drop of a hat by using this little Sharely thing. So that's pretty cool. And that's what we've added. It's a pretty low priced product. And as I said, it's an upsell. As you can see, it's a completely separate product. It is in no way required to use Hybrid Connect. It's not a part of Hybrid Connect. It's a completely separate edition that if you want that, you'll find that on the thank you page, and you know, you can just leave that open until after the webinar, maybe have a quick look at that and see if that's something you'd like to add.
Cool, thanks for sharing that, Shane. That's pretty exciting too. Let's crack on with some more questions, because we've got a few to get through here. Rick, he just wants to clarify, does Hybrid Connect build the opt-in form? Because he must have missed that part. So yeah, obviously yes.
Yes,
Rick,
yes.
It builds all the stuff for you. It's pretty powerful. Let's have a look here. I don't quite understand that one, so I'll have to pass on that question. So I'm just looking for more questions here. Yes, there is going to be a replay actually for people asking. Jim wants to know if you can add your own extra custom fields like physical address or some sort of a question into the form.
No, at this point, what we have is you can either collect name and email address or email address only, but right now there are no other features. There are no other options for extra fields, phone number fields, and stuff like that. We're kind of in discussion on whether we can add that, but probably not. The focus is really getting names and emails or emails only, and that's it. So custom fields, I can't make any promises there yet.
Okay, fair enough. That's good. Harold, which email address people are asking to send for the bonus? So when you to claim the bonus, It's staff@matsmarketingblog.com. So it's just my blog. Most of you will know that, matsmarketingblog.com. Just put staff at, that's the address, staff@matsmarketingblog.com. And then with a copy of your receipt, though, because we've got to check it against the records of the sales, and then we'll send you a link back. Bonnie is asking if this is a one-time payment or a monthly payment. And the answer to that one, Bonnie, is it's a one-time payment. Pam is asking, is this for WordPress only? I believe it's a WordPress plugin, so...
Yes, that's correct.
Yes,
yeah,
it's
WordPress only.
Just for WordPress sites. Denise is saying, I'm using Aweber and using their templates. If you make your opt-in boxes with hybrid, do you load that into Aweber? So integrating with Aweber, I guess, is the question.
Yeah, well, the way you do it is essentially you take in the Aweber form builder, regardless of what design you choose, doesn't matter. You simply go to publish my form and select HTML form, and you copy and paste that code into Hybrid Connect, and we take care of the rest. So your design will then entirely be created inside Hybrid Connect, or you can use obviously one of our 50 templates that we provide. And essentially we just take the information out of the Aweber form that we need, and everything else is just in the background and taken care of. So you know, it doesn't matter, and this is true for every autoresponder, right? Most autoresponders come with their own form builders. Most of them are kind of ugly. And you simply ignore the design in the autoresponder and just take the HTML form, and Hybrid Connect takes care of everything else.
Okay, Peter Pretorius is asking a question here. I'm going to read it out. I can't quite make full sense of it yet, but hopefully I will when I read it again. Assume I offer a breakdown service, as in a car breaking down, I think he means. Mm-hmm. People don't want to be in this position, obviously, and only find my site when they're in a crisis. In 99% of the cases, they will not use my service again because they don't want to break down. Even if I get their email on the list, will you do that, as you don't know their real interests? In other words, relevancy is a problem.
I see.
I'm not quite... Are you following? Do you want to answer that one, Shane?
Well, I think the issue is that essentially you're saying you have one-time customers only, right? And on the one hand, I'm not sure that's true, because if it's not like, you know, a car breaks down only once in your entire lifetime. But also you might consider, I mean, you can use, first of all, you know that these people own a car, right? So there is a little bit of targeting, and you can consider maybe using that as a promotional thing. But you could also consider just using emails as a branding thing. Right? If you keep in touch with people and you, for example, you could offer them something cool in return for referrals. Or you could just, keep in communication with them, maybe share some good content with them, so that in their minds, you are this really cool car breakdown rescue service guy. And that can be a branding thing, because, you know, when their friend's car breaks down, they go, oh, there's this guy, you should use him. Look, I have no idea. I mean, I don't know anything about the car breakdown niche or whatever that's called, but it's definitely worth it. It's definitely worth it to give it a try, to give email a try and see what you can do.
Right, sure. And you could even sell them some sort of service on the email or responder if it was related to some sort of insurance or something. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, let's move along. There's a lot of people asking about integration with Aweber. To answer everyone who's asked that question, yes, this does integrate with Aweber, and it creates the forms for you for all the people that are asking that question. You might have probably asked it before I actually reached your question. John McCreary has said he's just purchased a professional license. Cool, that's great. And
awesome.
You've emailed us about the bonus. Good on you, John. Somebody asked a question if it integrates with List Animal. I've never heard of List Animal. I'm assuming it's something like Aweber. Have you heard of that one?
Yes, we have. List Animal is kind of a special Facebook list building thing. And so here's the short answer is yes. The long answer is not quite, because what you can do is you can create a form in List Animal and use that for the Hybrid Connect integration, but that doesn't come with all of the fancy demographic stuff and whatever else List Animal does. That goes through the Facebook Connect button. And we've been in touch with the List Animal developers because they said they would be interested in doing an integration, and we were like, yeah, let's do it. But the problem is we've had trouble with communication. So we have, we're like in touch with their developer and we're trying to find out how to get this integration working, but the communication hasn't really been working. So essentially we're trying to get a List Animal integration going, but I don't know if it'll actually happen. But the basic integration through forms does work.
Rightio. Okay. A couple of people asking about different types of autoresponders. I think, what about Lead Rocket? I'm not familiar with Lead Rocket either.
Me neither. If you can create an HTML form, it will work.
Okay. Is there a refund policy on this, Shane, if it doesn't work out for whatever reason?
Yes, good you mentioned that. Yeah, we have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if for any reason you somehow don't like this within 30 days of purchase, you simply send us a message. You get your money back, no questions asked.
Okay, fantastic. For those people asking if it will work with an eWealth Blueprint lead generation website, I don't think it's going to work. Well, it's sort of yes and no, I guess, because you can't add the extra fields. So in that respect, you would only be able to do a lead gen site with 2 fields. So depending on what you're doing, but you can't customize and add extra information. We talked about that earlier, so just keep that in mind. Some people are asking, did you say it creates landing pages? It doesn't create landing pages itself. It's the front end of it, of collecting the lead, if you like. But then your upsell, you talked about that, created different things. Do you want to just mention that again?
Well, it does create. Let me quickly go back to that slide. It does create one type of squeeze page.
My apologies.
So this kind of squeeze page, let me just show this again. This is the type of squeeze page you can build with Hybrid Connect. So this is a type of squeeze page that I call it the launch rocket style. The launch rock style, which has become really popular lately because we tend to get really high conversions from this. So it's essentially a big background image, or it also can just be a background color or a gradient, and what's basically an opt-in form in the middle of that, right? That's what we're looking at. So this is the type of squeeze page you can build with Hybrid Connect. But I want to be clear about this. It's not like, I don't know, it's not like you have 15 different designs or layouts or something for these pages. You can set any background image you want, any background color you want, and you can make this opt-in form in the middle anything you want. But it's not like you can also build a sales page, or it's not like you can also create your opt-in confirmation page with this. It's not a page builder, right? You can create this type of squeeze page and that's it, because we're all about getting the opt-in and we don't want to add too many extra options and other stuff that would make things complicated. So it's not a page builder, it's not a sales page builder, but you can build these awesome, highly converting squeeze pages.
Cool. Okay. Rick Gregory just wants to say that he's just bought it, and he said, I'm a split test dummy, so this is a good way to start. Thanks for the nice price. Good on you, Rick. Sharon has asked, where are the emails stored when you're building an email list? You do have to use an email marketing service like Aweber. They take care of all that for you there, Sharon. Could you use it to sell? I'm just reading this one. I don't quite understand that one, so I have to. Some of the longer ones are a bit hard for me to decipher. You get a better chance of a question if it's shorter. Just let you in a little tip. There will be a replay. A lot of people are asking about the replay. I'm probably getting questions that were asked a little bit earlier. So we've answered all the autoresponder stuff. Michael is saying, I have Hybrid Connect. It's awesome. The best product out there for designing and testing. I highly recommend it. Shane is a perfectionist who creates products that are done better. You will not be displeased with this product. Oh, good on you, Michael.
Thank you very much. That's awesome.
Thanks. Doug. You could try and use it with a popover if you want it for eWealth Blueprint sites, but again, it's not going to collect a full lead. Just keep that in mind. But it's I mean, it's a way of collecting a lead. So yeah, we're almost at the end of the questions here. So that's pretty much it. Ingrid's asking, say if you use a buy PayPal button, and could you use it to sell and then collect an email? I still don't quite understand the question there from Ingrid. Do you, Shane?
Well, yeah, I'm not sure. Well, so look, there are two things you can do relating to PayPal. If you're selling something and then you want to collect the lead after the purchase, you can put, for example, a Hybrid Connect opt-in form on your purchase confirmation page, right? You can set the after purchase page in PayPal. The other thing you can also do is you can build a Hybrid Connect form that instead of having an opt-in form has a purchase button. So if you want to have like a call to action, a nicely styled call to action box with an add to cart button in it, you can actually also use Hybrid Connect to build that. That's the only two things I can think of in relation to PayPal that make sense to me.
Okay, cool. I think that's pretty much it. There's some people asking about the results. Jim is asking about what sort of results you've had with local businesses if you've been doing this. It's kind of a tough one to answer, but I'll read it, see how you go, Shane.
Okay.
Have you used it for local business is the question. Can you briefly discuss what kind of end results you have been able to get and your clients and types of niche building email lists work best?
Well, I don't do any kind of local marketing or offline marketing. Basically now all of the marketing I do is to sell my own products. And of course, part of that is collecting leads that then are sent promotions for my own products. So I really don't have any experience with offline marketing. What I do know is that we have probably hundreds of users that do this. We have hundreds of users that are agencies or one-man operations working with small businesses and working with offline businesses that use Hybrid Connect. And so far, we've heard nothing but good things from them. So, obviously I can't share any data on this because it's not my data. It's not, I don't have access to that. But I don't see why anyone who runs an offline business shouldn't get the same results as anyone else, which is you create your opt-in forms, you get a certain conversion rate, and you do simple small tests like testing different button colors, testing different headlines and so on, and you slowly but steadily see an increase in your opt-in rates, which is, by the way, is fantastic when you're working with clients, because it's actually psychologically, it's much better to go to a client and say, look, here's an increase, right? Here's where we started and your opt-in rates are increasing, than to go with just one result. Even if that result is better in numbers, we just say, okay, this is the result I got you, and it's steady. Psychologically, it's actually much better if you can show this is increasing. We're doing something to help increase this number. So yeah, I mean, that's the result you get. You do simple split tests, you get sometimes dramatically better results, but usually slowly in small increments you get better opt-in rates, and that's the result you get.
Okay, great. I think we're going to wrap it up. Just to remind you guys, Shane, do you want to flick on, oh, you got it there, sorry, imimpact.com/Matt, you get a special discount price. So we're actually reducing the price. If you got to go through that link to get it, otherwise you're going to have to pay full price like everybody else. So get the discount by going through imimpact.com/Matt. You also get the bonus webinar that I'm running next week on email marketing, got Email Marketing Secrets, where I'm going to run a private bootcamp on email marketing, which is where I teach you guys how I've been so successful doing this sort of stuff. It's by far the most successful thing I've done to make me money is building an email list and email marketing, and I've learned a lot about it. So I've got a lot of good tips I can share with you on how to do it properly. So we'll go through that, and I'll just sort of dump all my knowledge on you on email marketing so that you can, when you build your email list, you know how to manage it properly and make money out of it. So that'll be in that webinar. So to get the bonus, you have to email us. You've got to email us a copy of your receipt, and you've got to email to staff, S-T-A-F-F, at mattsmarketingblog.com. So staff at mattsmarketingblog.com, and we will reply to you with a link to register for that webinar. If you can't make the live event, the replay will be posted on the exact same page that you registered. So you don't have to mail us saying, oh, where's the replay, because it'll be on the same page. So please don't email us, is what I'm trying to say, because I don't want you to email asking where the replay is, because it's going to be on the same page you registered. So just bookmark the page. Pretty logical. So Shane, thanks very much for all the great tips on how to get more people on our email list. I think there's some really cool ideas that you've got there, and your product is just fantastic. I think it's a real bargain, and like a lot of people have said on this webinar, it's very reasonably priced. So thank you for that, and of course with the discount as well. So yeah, I just want to say thank you, Shane, for coming along tonight and for spending some time with us and sharing some of your knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a real pleasure. It's always great to have you know, like an interactive crowd that asks lots of questions and so on. That's very cool, and yeah, it was a real pleasure. Thank you very much for the opportunity to present here. I really hope that you go and implement, you know, even if it's just one or two things that I talked about in the webinar, and do that and see the results. You will get great results from this, and you will build your email list, and that's just the best thing you can do for your online business. So I really hope that you get that out of it, and obviously I'd be very happy to see you as a Hybrid Connect customer very soon. So thank you very much, and have a good night.
All right, thank you, Shane, and thank you, everybody, and I will post the replay of this webinar on my blog in the next couple of days for you to catch as well. All right, take care, everyone, and bye for now.